Mm. How are you doing?
Alright, great. Tired, busy. What's going on?
It's actually good. It's getting better.
Yeah, yeah. I was really excited to jump on this call because I knew I was gonna smile, like, the whole time. So,
Yeah, me too.
like, just positive vibes, positive conversation.
Mhm.
I've been so busy. I have, like this has been let's see, let me pull up my calendar. So this week has been a little bit, uh less time consuming, but whenever I say that this has been the busiest month of my life, here's my calendar. So you have whenever you have like business owners that tell you that they're broke and they're not making any money, it's because this is not there. You know what I mean? And
Mm.
so like we have to be talking to people. We have to be meeting people. We have to be making new connections and everything. And so oh my
Just like
gosh, I have this huge investor event coming up this weekend that I've been preparing for. Like we have these folders that have these investor presentations. Oh my gosh, there's so many of them. And they come in different colors too. They
Mm,
come, we have them in blue, we have
mm,
them in black. Let's see, we have some in gold. And so it's gonna be a really good weekend, and so it seems like I've been preparing for this all week, but I've really been preparing for this for like 10 years. And
mhm.
so this event that's happening this weekend is so important because I'm walking in there with a culmination of 10 years of knowledge since I started down this path. And so whenever people say like I want to be a millionaire, I want to build this big significant thing, the amount of infrastructure that it takes in order for that to happen, the amount of knowledge that you have to gain in order for that to happen. I had a girl that saw our post in the Facebook group and she reached out to me. And at first, she sent me a copy and pasted message about her graphic design company. And and then she said, "Oh, hi, Jason. Sorry to reach out like this. I saw your post and I just wanted to see if maybe you could help me with my business." And so I immediately hit her with, "Don't ever send somebody a message like that because you spammed me your business before you know me or before you know if I need your services or not. So automatically, like I discount you as somebody that's going to waste my time and everybody else is too." And then she thanked me and she said, "Look, the reality is I'm a professional digital marketer and I'm having trouble getting clients. And that's what I want to talk to you about. I need clients." And I said, "So, if the job of a professional digital marketer is to get clients for a business and you're having trouble obtaining clients yourself, what does that tell us? That tells us that you are not a professional digital marketer. And because of YouTube and labels associated with all these different things and personalities that are going on, she feels that by reaching out to me, a business owner, and saying I'm a professional digital marketer, I have these services that I'm going to automatically go, oh, wow, boy, I've never come across a professional digital marketer before." And so what I told her is what she needs to do is start with responsibility. Let's take responsibility for where we're at first.
Mm.
And that's how we're going to start our pitch. Look, I'm not a professional digital marketer, but I do know how to provide a couple of services. Because I'm not a professional digital marketer, I can provide these services cheaper than other people that are out there doing this. So, why don't we work together? I get to provide you with affordable services. I get to build my portfolio and we both win. And so if we start right there with honesty, then it completely changes our approach to business. One of the main reasons why I was excited to get on this call today is just because of the truth and the honesty and the openness that we just have in our conversation, you
It
know?
is, it is true.
So
You have to
I
be
didn't want to
honest.
talk about business today. I want to ask you, who were you before?
who I was before, before
Yeah.
all the things, yeah. So I was actually like born in Czech Republic, you know. I'm Vietnamese. So it was a hard life as well, you know, with my parents. We have to be like, you know, the markets, the Vietnamese markets on the borders. So my parents did it, you know, and I was going there, you know, they didn't have time for us. So I had Czech grandparents, which raised me very well. I'm really glad and thankful for them, how they raised me, even I didn't have so much time to be with my parents. With my siblings, with my brother, we bonded all the time. And you know, even they didn't have so much money in the start. They gave us the best what they can do, you know, always. That's how, like, whoever is like my inspiration is my family, my parents, because they are very hardworking and they are doing everything for their children, even now at their age, at a very old, like old age. And when I saw them, you know, it's like I really want to help others as well, because I think everyone has a change to become better, to have a great life. But you have to do something. You can't just sit at home and do nothing. You have to work hard on it. It is like this. You have to have a patience, you know. Sometimes it's gonna be hard, sometimes it's gonna be easy, but nothing comes for free. You just have to do it. That's it. Yeah, so who I am, I'm a person who is trying my best. I'm not trying to connect, trying to make someone smile, laugh, you know, and just trying to make like every like moment or every day in my life better. Just doing little things.
Yeah, I think, so a lot of us, we want to be better and we want to do better. But like I was saying, like the amount of infrastructure it takes to put a business in place, to make the kind of income that someone wants. Well, the same methodology applies in our relationships, and the commitment, the level of commitment that we put into what it is that we're doing. And so I believe that our relationships are actually a reflection of how we live our lives. And so let's just take, for instance, someone who doesn't commit. You know, I've been with my wife for 6 years now,
Mhm.
and whenever I think about who I was before, I've always committed to life. I've always committed to projects, but I was always like afraid to really let a woman love me, because I was always afraid that, as soon as a woman sees my weaknesses or sees my anger or sees like all these faults that we feel that we have, then all of a sudden that person's going to leave. And I found that, like most men my age, what would happen is as soon as I would get into a relationship where I would start to feel love or feel loved, then I would sabotage my own relationship so that it could end before I was fully committed to something.
Mhm.
So once the relationship started going into a direction of marriage or engagement or moving in together or something that was taking us to the next step, I would back off. And so I would commit in relationships, and I committed to getting healthy, and I committed to my daughter, but whenever I met my wife, that really opened me up to the idea that I'm tired of not nec yeah, I'm tired of doing this alone, but not necessarily that I'm tired of doing this alone, but it made me realize that we all, especially here in America, we're strong, independent people. And so it's like this trap that society has for us where it's teaching us to be independent of each other and to become strong without each other. But we're only as successful as our ability to depend upon each other. We're only as successful as the people that we surround ourselves with. And I'm not talking about successful as in money. I'm talking about success spiritually, in wealth, health, happiness, whatever it is that we're looking for. It's the relationships that we have with people and how we commit to those relationships that really drives our lives, and it can drive a fruitful life. And I think we talked about it a little bit before in our last talk,
Mm,
but I think that if we can just if we can get to the point, especially if we have like a channel or a show or something like that, if we can get to the point to where people start seeing and hearing and experiencing more conversations like this, then all of a sudden there's a shift
mm,
in our consciousness, right? Because everybody's doing it. Like I even, I was telling my assistant this morning who's so nervous whenever she goes out to network that we're starting her a brand called the Nervous Networker. It's like, why not? Like, let's embrace what you're scared of. And so I was telling her how much easier going out today and networking was going to be for her. And she said, why? And I said, well, because you already have a website and you already have videos out and people have already seen you. And so even if you've never met those people that have already seen you, then in the universal plane that we live in, your fear has already become somewhat alleviated because you've already experienced no longer being a stranger to those people. It doesn't matter if you know them, it doesn't matter if you know how many people read it. So the more content that we can put out where we're sharing our voice and we're talking about love and we're talking about forgiveness and we're talking about our hardships and the things that we made mistakes on and how we want to help others. It doesn't matter if we ever meet the people that see the video.
mm,
When they see the video, we feel the healing within us.
exactly.
And the more times we can make the content, the more times we can have the conversation, the more healing we bring within ourselves to the point to where you're like the Dalai Lama or somebody, and like and you really only have this much interaction with people. You have a very small circle of people that come near you, but you're just breathing out so much fire that you have no choice but to be peaceful. You have no choice but to be loving because it's out there. The ether, it's out there in the universe, it's out there in the air. It's already working. So whenever we talked before, you said about a year ago you were a little bit different. And so like now you're on this path of helping people through this spiritual journey. So let's start at a year ago. What changed?
Well, it started a year ago. So it wasn't just like 1 year ago, it was like a few years ago. I lived in different countries. I moved. When there was something difficult, I tried to run away. I tried to run away from the problems. And that was the thing that I always focus on those things that I didn't deal with it. I didn't fight with it. I was running away. This was my kind of solution, I would say. But the last year it changed because I met my friend, my mentor, my CEO partner of the agency, the most amazing soul I have ever met in my life. He really changed my view, how to think about things, about the spiritual journey. And he helped me just not to think, but to feel and to be thankful. And that's when it's changed 1 year. Because if you would see me 1 year ago, I wouldn't, I always was positive. I always was positive, I want to make change. but I didn't know how because I didn't believe in myself. And this time a year ago, it starts that I work hard on myself. I put effort more in my patience. I put effort to help also not my friends, but myself, which is so important. If you are not happy with yourself, how can you help the others? That's the questions. And this is where it starts, And now I can send so much love and be happy because I have it. It's me. I'm that person. I'm the light. I'm the happiness. I'm the love.
Right, right, right. And all of us are. And like I really feel like I don't, I've never been like a conspiracy theorist. I've never been like I've always just had my eyes open to everything. And so whenever I look at what's happening with the world right now, it feels like somebody is trying to hide the fact that we are destroying ourselves. And so it's like there's only a certain amount of people that are really paying attention to everything because everything that's happened in the last few years, it's not coincidental. Like banks are collapsing and the weather is getting
Yeah,
stupid crazy.
it's so true. It's so
And
true.
like and so even something like that. Like there are people on this planet that have been alive for 100 years and you hear them on the news and they say, "I've never seen anything like this in my life before." I grew up in the '80s and the '90s. I don't I've never seen the world on fire. I've never seen extreme highs and extreme lows. I'm in Texas right now, and it's like 110, 110, 110, 110. And whenever I was a kid, yeah, summers were warm. They were in the high 90s. But then after the summer, fall came, and then winter came, and then spring came, and then summer came, and it all happened again. Well, now it's really fucking hot for like half the year. And then it gets really, really cold. And there's no in between time. So we're running into less time for plants to grow and for plants to harvest, like for plants to seed, right? For plants to reproduce. And like even here in Texas, like I'm in Dallas and we're hours away from an ocean, but the heat and Dallas reminds me of when I lived in Houston. In Houston, there was terrible humidity. It rained all the time, even whenever it was 100 degrees outside, and the water would hit the ground, it would turn into steam, and it's just so hot. Oh my God, it was so hot. But we were close to the ocean. It made sense. And so now, whenever it's this humid in Dallas, I can only think to myself that the only way it's this hot is if the sun is literally pulling the the water out of the grass, out of the trees, and it's all dying right here in front of us. And then somebody might go, "Oh yeah, Jason, that's the water table. We were taught that in school. That's how evaporation works." Really? That's how evaporation works? This is not evaporation. The sun is killing the plants.
Are you a loser who sucks at sales? Do you cry yourself to sleep, hit the wall with your fist, or even sit on a random large rock with a cowboy hat propped on your knee because you suck at sales? Well, you aren't alone. Statistically speaking, 841% of entrepreneurs suck at sales. They may have big dreams, but when it comes to sales, they suck, suck, suck. Great ideas, great products, or even great services get nowhere when they don't sell. Look at her. Even she knows you suck. Well, you're in luck, because the Smarter App Company has a solution. What is it? Your very own app. Using our multi-tiered compensation and marketing software, users can download your app from any app store and get paid for promoting your brand. All you have to do is share a little profits from your brand new sales. Finally, there is a solution for any and everyone who sucks at sales. Stop sucking and start winning again. Get your own app, starting at just $100 a month. So cheap, even this group of fake doctors gave us a thumbs up. Smarter marketing. Make you an app.
The heat is killing things. Birds are dropping dead. Fish are boiling in waters. This is not coincidence. And it's all happening around COVID. It's all happening around bank collapse. It's all happening around us doing everything that we can to frack oil out of the ground. It's like, oh, well, we got rid of all the puddles of oil. Now what we should do is put seismic charges horizontally underneath cities and blow them up and expect nothing to happen afterwards. What? It's
Time is fast. Time is fast.
mind-boggling. And this is our life. This is not like a dream we're waking up from. This, you know what I mean? Like this, I really feel right now like this is something that 5 or 10 years ago, I would have woken up like, and I would have been like, oh my God, I'm so glad that our world is not like that. And we're living in it. And not only are we living in it, but people aren't talking about it. If if you bring up problems that are happening between certain cultures or certain races, then you're a racist. If you bring up problems about men disempowering women to empower themselves, or women disempowering men to empower themselves, then you're a sexist. It's like if we want to really get to the root of the problems, then we're labeled as being part of the problem. And then the people that create the problems pile up on the people that are trying to solve it. And if that's the society, if that's the world that we're living in, then how are we ever going to save ourselves? How do we ever come out of this nightmare?
Because we have to do it together. That's the thing. We have to connect the humanity. That this is.
Right. And that's the internet hasn't been used for that yet. Whenever people created social media, they created socialized online segregation. They didn't bring anybody together. They drove everybody apart and they grouped everybody up. And now every group is pointing at each other and they want to destroy the other groups. And so, like, I mean, it's just at the point now, it's like, do we build our own internet? Like, but I think, it's just conversations, right? And
Mm.
then and then people hearing this talk and then connecting with us so that we can have more conversations like this. And then us all putting all this out online in the ether, us starting our soul movement, you know. Like I've written I wrote a lot of books.
Mhm.
And I didn't write books because I wanted to be like this big author. I wrote a lot of books because I had a lot to say. And I had a lot to say because I wasn't allowed to say anything when I was a kid. Like I watched my parents destroy themselves and then tell me to shut up whenever I wanted to voice my opinion about it. And so I grew up thinking like all these things about me are wrong and they're bad and they're weaknesses. And anytime I would share these things with people, they would use them against me in arguments or fights. And I felt like, well, if I share these things with anybody, then that gives them an opportunity to hurt me. And as soon as I realized that, I was like, if I share these things about myself with somebody, that gives them the opportunity to hurt me. If I share these things about myself, then that gives someone the opportunity to hurt me. Then that means that is me expressing my vulnerability to let them know that they can trust me. So whenever I used to share these things about myself, and then I was worried that someone was going to hurt me or hold them against me, I realized sharing all these things about myself is what makes people trust me. Like, people here in the United States believe that the NSA is listening to their phone calls. It's like, you are not that interesting. Get over yourself. Like, we hide so much and we internalize so much, but we're all feeling this pain. We're all feeling alone. We're all feeling anxiety. We're all feeling depression. All of us. We all feel it. All of us. But the reason why we suffer from it is because we don't communicate about it. We go to
Yeah, we don't talk about it. We do.
doctors and we take pills to mask it when we should be having these conversations with people that we love. We're like
Exactly.
you don't fix your marriage by leaving your marriage to go talk to somebody else about your marriage. You fix your marriage inside your marriage. You fix your home inside your home. You fix yourself inside yourself. The very first thing that I do with anybody before we talk business, before we talk investment, before we talk about sales, before we talk about anything in a coaching manner, the very first thing that we have to do is we need to take responsibility for where we are. Because if we're not willing to take responsibility for being an alcoholic or being a drug addict or being an abuser or being a narcissist or being whatever it is that's going on, if we're not willing to take responsibility for it and come out in the forefront and openly tell people, this is who I am, well, then there's no accountability. And if you don't have accountability, you don't have growth. So it's time for
Exactly.
us to talk about our problems with other people and be vulnerable so that we can all hold each other accountable to our growth. If we get right out in front of our problems and we say, Eva, you know why I like connecting with you? Is because I get so deep into my work that I sometimes forget the impact I have on other people. And to me, you are like the physical manifestation in a person of the impact I have on somebody. And so, like, your smile, your beautiful glow, like the energy that we have whenever we talk, and even whenever you're sitting there and I'm saying this and I'm complimenting you and you smile and then you smile bigger and you start to laugh and you do this thing where you try to hold in the smile where you're like, but it just makes you smile bigger. It's a yeah. So it's so enlightening. And so whenever we go through our phone and we look at our text messages and we see this stress and we see that this person is starting an argument with us and this person is probably going to ghost me and we see all this stuff, then it starts by making a shift in here and deleting the people in here that you don't feel this positive connection with and really come to terms with why you have them in
It
your
is.
phone. Why do I have them in my phone? Oh, because I can go get drunk and think about whenever I was 20 years younger. Come on, grow up. If that's the only reason why you're connecting with a person, then you don't need to be connecting with that person. We need to find relationships where we can say, hey, let's talk once a week just so we can refill our cups, you know?
It's the best, updating, communicating. That's
Right.
how the relationship work.
You texted me. You
Yeah.
texted me and you're in Germany and you're like, Jason, tell me how your weekend went. Tell me how productive you were. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yes,
I'm
of
like, this is like the
course.
most amazing thing, you know? So, so
Mhm.
what do you have planned for this upcoming month of September with Soul?
In September.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you, we're gonna have the pillows tomorrow in our storage there where we have warehouse. And I had a brainstorming with my CO partner yesterday. We talked about it, what we could do. for with the Spirit Love brand.
Mhm.
And what we're gonna do, we're gonna put them in a box with the Spirit Love, but also with the Soul Agency, with the soul. So whoever is gonna look at it and makes a QR code, the person is gonna come to our website. If it's the right person with the right energy, our person, the person is gonna come to us.
Right, right, right. I love that you said that. I used to teach sales training, and I used to teach people, I'm like, "You need to bother somebody like 12 times before they'll buy something." And then, like, I hit this point where I was like, "The right people come,"
Exactly.
you know? Give them the information and the right people come. Because you don't wanna chase down anybody, because that's undue stress and energy, and if you're having to chase them down, then you're not going to receive from them what it is that you're hoping to receive from them. You need people to chase you down. You need people that are like, "Oh, I dreamed about this, and now it's here," you know? So, what else is going on? Anything going on in your personal life, like any like school or classes or jobs or anything else that you wanna talk about, that you wanna
Exactly.
share?
I'm very happy because I have amazing boyfriend. He's amazing. I'm just happy that he's with me, and it's amazing that I could spend time with him. It's every moment I really enjoyed it. He's so positive and motivated. And I always said, if you have a good heart, good intentions, and you are very happy with yourself, you're gonna attract those who are on the same level and with the same energy. That's how it
Yeah,
is.
right.
Manifest all the things you want, all the people, everything is possible. I
Yeah,
love it.
there's a lot of online dating here, and we're doing some online dating stuff with a client, and we've had to do some build some profiles on some dating sites, and I've learned a lot about people. In the last, I haven't been on social media or anything in 8 or 9 years, and so it's just like I really feel like I was kind of disconnected. But the biggest thing that I see is you have a whole bunch of people that are all in one place, and they all say that they want connection, but nobody's communicating. And so You know, from my perspective, I really feel like the world has changed so much because I'm a guy and I come from this reality where like men are dogs, right? And like, but then I make this profile where I'm just like this friendly guy. And I'm like, hey, if you need some help with business, if you want to talk about leadership or, your career, anything, feel free to reach out. I'm not really here for anything. Have a happy life. But then I would meet women who, if I wasn't going to have a physical relationship with them, then all of a sudden they don't want to communicate. And so, and I'm not just talking about like on any level, like I'm just, as I see it, like we have 4 or 5 people working for me that have profiles, men and women. And so it's like, it's this mentality of, if we're not sexually attracted to each other and if we're not going to have sex, then we have no reason to talk to each other. And it's like, that's a reflection of your life, and it's a reflection of your relationships. I'm an investor. I have relationships with thousands of people I will never have a physical relationship with. If I was going into every situation trying to have some kind of physical or intimate relationship, I would never get anywhere in life. I would almost be like some dog idiot dude that does nothing except play video games and stalk people online and then just try to, you know, or a woman or anybody in that situation. The point is we are attracted to goals. We're attracted to meaning. We're attracted to purpose. Like the best conversations that I had were not with people who were looking for a relationship with somebody else. They were with people who were doing something amazing with their life, and they saw an opportunity to build a profile and maybe meet others. The people who were focused on finding a relationship, focused on finding the one, focus on dating and dating and dating and searching and searching and searching. Those people aren't committing to shit. They're not committing to relationships. They're not committing to each other. They're not committing to fulfilling goals. They're not committing to their health. They're not committing to anything. They're not committing to life. The people that don't care that they have a little bit of a stomach and they don't care that they have a little bit of an issue, but they're willing to share and be vulnerable and commit to somebody and work through their issues no matter what happens, thick or thin. These people have friendships, enlightening relationships, thriving businesses, huge networks of people that they can rely on to give them positive insight and positive conversations. And so, Eva, our time is out today, and we're going to, book yourself on next week so we can talk again next week.
I will.
Um,
Yeah.
but, you know, let's keep telling the world how much we love the world,
Mhm.
regardless is if we get hurt or not. Let's start being more vulnerable. Let's start having the deep conversations because the people that we want in our lives and the people that are going to be great for us, we might not meet them doing some online dating thing. We're more than likely going to meet them doing something that we love.
Exactly.
I met my wife at Girl Scouts. Her daughter's a Girl Scout, my daughter's a Girl Scout. We didn't meet online, we met in a place of love, and then we got to spend months getting to know each other while our daughters got to play together and get to know each other. The relationship was based on building a foundation of
Mhm.
friendship together, and then the first year together that we were together, we dated. We actually dated. We actually spent time together. We held
Oh,
hands. You know what
normal.
I Yeah, like, we held hands, went to movies, didn't have sex, like, focused on building a relationship. And so, if we can get back to focusing on relationships, get past whatever your intention is. Like, a lot of people are connecting with me with intention to sell me a product. A lot of people are connecting with me with intention of me to help their business. I'm connected with no intention other than communication and fulfillment, having that conversation and that connection. So this is Jason and Eva saying we love you all
Yeah, we
and
love you
keep
all,
having,
guys.
keep connecting and keep talking and keep being vulnerable with everybody.
It is very important, this vulnerability, honestly, and being real, it's the most important. When you're gonna be real, then you're gonna make big things just by that. Start doing that. Yeah, just being real.
Yeah. All right, Eva. I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Yes,
Yes.
of course. We will talk soon, yeah?
Love from the US. I'll
Love
talk to
from
you
the
later.
Germany here.
Yeah, love from Germany. All right. Bye, girl.
Okay, bye.